Peace, prosperity, love, and light. Shabbat shalom. I have a couple of thoughts I wanted to get out, and not really in the mood for this today, but it's some things that I feel like need to be said. Um, Man, if you look at the internet and if you look at our society, we are one of the most distracted peoples on the planet. And I mean American citizens, and probably even more so than that, Black Americans. That's generally my conversation is for Black America because we've been manipulated and we are the most confused. France Fanon titled us the wretched of the earth, and the entire planet seems to have a slight disgust for us. So, with that being said, um, the world is seemingly set up to keep you distracted from the things that you should focus on for your own personal development, for your children's development, for your community's development, for how you develop personally, spiritually, financially, communally. We are in a bad way. It's a bad day, and the hours are short. So, the distractions have been many, and they are not stretched very far. They are continuous. So, if there was someone working against your success and your development and your growth in this stage of life, I would have to say it would be yourself. What you choose not to do, what you choose not to learn, what you choose not to study, because almost anything that you would want to know in this time, in this day and age, is available for you to know. I mean, you can extend your study for as far as you'd like to extend it, depending on what it is you want to know. So, spiritual things are things that you actually have to test with your being. Dietary things are other things that you have to test with your being. And so, when you do these things, there is no one who can tell you different than the experience that you've already had. And your experience is more of a teacher than the wisdom of someone who gave you a bunch of words about a thing. So, we can keep sitting around waiting on some, cloud in the sky to open up, or the UFOs to come down, or some miraculous, spiritual event to take place that makes you know who you are. If you don't know who you are at this point, I feel slightly sorry for you. I mean, especially if you're over a certain age, because I imagine that, there are young ones who are coming into the knowledge of themselves, new, just like, we all once did. But if you're an adult, if you're over, say, 35 and you have no insight about who you are or all of the lies that have been told to you, then you are going to remain to be as confused as they intended for you to be. And that does you no good. That does your family no good. Extended before you and behind you, your parents and your children. None of us are benefiting from your lack of knowledge. Everybody who is on this earth at this very moment, at this very time, are here for a reason, with a major purpose. And if you're not doing something to nurture or feed or grow that purpose, then you are wasting parts of your life. You are spending time distracted in the matrix, in the maze, a leaf in the wind, if you will. No direction. You have to direct your life. You have to direct your thinking. You have to direct your attention towards something that you wish more of, something that you wish to be better at, something that you wish to grow, something that you wish to develop. Even if it ain't in yourself, if it's something outside of yourself that makes you feel better, people say they don't like to change, and people say, well, I don't like, you change up on me, and all of these things have changed. People don't contextualize what they say when they say these things, and change is inevitable for somebody who wants to grow. My wife, my current wife, I tell her, I'm all about growing and developing, and so I will change. I will be changing. That's something that I expect to be a part of our continuous life together, is growth and development and change. But it's not, oh, I'm changing up. You know what I mean? It's not the negative connotation. It's developing myself to be better, to be more of what I want to be. You know, at some point I want to be able to pray and emanate a light from my body. So, why would I want to do that? To prove that it is a possibility. Why would I want to float or emanate or do astral travel or far sight? Any of these kinds of spiritual advanced techniques that people do and use and utilize, and they have their purpose. What would be the purpose of it? It's for you to work about. It's for you to work on, work with, and I hope it's not a egoic development or purpose behind why you would want to do or be something more than you are. Ego is there, I'm sure, because it helps to drive a thing, but I would hope it's not for them and it's more for you. Because, see, my love for my people, my love for myself, it's intertwined. And so, me being my best self is being in service of my people. Okay, because if you want to be ultimate, there all is one, right? So there is nothing that I will do that will be a benefit to me alone. There is nothing that I do for my people that will only be a benefit to them. And so with all of the things that I talk about or try to develop or grow or bring into my reality, and the ultimate purpose of it all is for the youth, right? For the next generation, for them to have the opportunities and availability to reach their fullest potential. I realize, whatever I grow and learn and develop at this point in my life, right? I appreciate knowing it, but I ultimately want to be able to give it to the youth, right? Because they're the ones who are going to have the energy and the time frame and the future and the skills to maneuver in the future and build about the future reality that we know is to come, and that's God's kingdom on earth. But they got to have the right education. Like they say, the children are the future. Teach them well and let them be, lead the way. If you keep teaching them the same thing over and over and over and over, then they can only build more of the BS that we keep, thinking is what it's about. It's not about the dollar. It's not about the prestige of a lawyer's title or a doctor's title. It's about the purpose of developing forward the next generation into the better, to the better version of ourselves. So on some level, yeah, you need the finances, you need the money, you need these things because you have to have the tools necessary to develop in this matrix, in this world. It's a tool. And so with that tool, you are, freer to develop. And that's what we need. We need the finances for its use as a tool, but not for its use as something to help us be shiny. I don't care to be shiny. I will hope, we've matured beyond that, because as you see, we the shiniest motherfuckers on the planet, and we ain't got nothing outside of the shiny shit. And when you in a state of need, that shiny shit is of little value. Y'all got to become aware of where we really are, man. Shit getting crucial out here in the world, and it's coming to the point where I really, really hope people finna stockpile food. I don't even feel like I'm as prepared as I would want to be, as I should be, for the way that I feel the times are. But I'm not like panicked about this shit, because I know ultimately my whole life been guided by the Most High to where I am to this very moment. So, I don't always see the big picture, just like you don't always see the big picture, but most people that I know spiritually can feel we're in a transformative time. You know what I mean? And the status of this nation that we once knew as America the Great is going to be lessened. It is being lessened by the hour, by the day. And our rhythmic, hypnotic rhythms keep the matrix afloat, keep its framework intact. Without us doing the things that we have done so rhythmically, so hypnotically, so routinely for so long, the matrix will fall down completely in front of our eyes. The framework will come apart. But we actually keeping it up with our thoughts, with our actions, with our everyday movements towards the way we've always done things. I look forward to the youth. I look forward to the youth having the wisdom of the creation that we live in, of our own physical being, right? Our physical being, which should be part of our elementary education, from K through 12, all across the globe. We should know our bodies, our brains, our minds, our nerves. We should know how they interact with the food, with the herbs, with the animals that we interact with. All of these things should become part of our elementary education as a human species. Is it so far fetched to think that when, quote unquote, Thomas Edison did the light bulb, that the next 2 years after, light bulbs became common, that should have been in the elementary curriculum, so that all of mankind would have learned how to create a light bulb. And so when we learn how to do open heart surgery, would it not be wise to put that in the elementary curriculum, so that all of the world would know how to do a heart? And so when we learn how to do anything that is beneficial to the human species, it should be taught on the masses through our elementary education, and then we elevate our entire species instead of just a class of people to capitalize on. I'm all about the change that I know is to come. So whatever that may be, I'm trying to So I've been in my process, and I'm gonna stay in my process. But we're in a new year spiritually, and so I hope y'all gearing up towards that, because the material shit that y'all done chased for so long, I would hope, man, y'all done got all that you can get out of it. I mean, what more could even if like I said, man, y'all gotta be aware, man. There's people who have $3 million when they kill themselves. You see what I'm saying? They jump out of buildings because it's not about the chase for the money. It's not about they get the money and don't even know what to do with the money. They don't have no real desire to do anything that is life changing with the money. Other than for them personal, their personal selves. And it's going to be a temporary thing. So, if I had the finances, and when I have the finances, my goal will be to connect with those who are trying to do transformative things, so that we can do them together and we can energize each other's force.